by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Thank you for tuning in. It's a nice day out there. 64 degrees here at the Paddock Mall, and got some rain in the forecast, actually. So look for some rain today, possible some strong winds. Right now, it doesn't look like much happening, but I guess that's on the way. Remember yesterday we had a story, Robert, about a woman who walked into a Publix here in Ocala with no pants on and no underwear on, just a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember that.
And
was a fun one.
She stole some wine.
Yeah.
Well, the story we had did not identify her, nor did it identify the Publix supermarket, which one it was, nor did it say she was arrested. Well, apparently she was arrested yesterday.
Oh, good.
Even though
good.
this was a story from a couple of weeks ago, I'm not really sure how we missed it, but it was national news yesterday.
Yeah.
Somehow we got it after it was national news. She's 35 years old. Her name is Desiree Taylor. Apparently walked into the Publix at 5400 Southwest College Road. So which one is that? Is that the one near you? Is that 54? No. Yours,
No, that's the one where you used to go to the subway and wait in line a really long time.
right.
Yeah.
And what's that area called again? Heathbrook or something?
No, it's past Heathbrook.
Okay, well, whatever.
It has a different name.
So that's where she went, and even one of the clerks tried to stop her from stealing the wine, $41.68 worth of wine, apparently.
Wow.
Anyway.
So they got her. Good.
They got her.
Was she still in her T-shirt when they arrested her?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Or fully clothed?
What else did I want to tell you before we moved on to my topic this one? I guess that's it. I guess that's all I wanted to tell you.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm glad they got
Today is tax day. And you might want to know if you can deduct certain things. I do have some stuff regarding that, but I want to tell you one quick story. This is from Fox Business News. I found this very, very interesting. If you, and I don't know if this is true for other states, but if you live in the state of New Jersey, which has a 7% sales tax,
Okay.
and you buy something, let's say in Florida, which has a 6% sales tax, and you bring it back to New Jersey to use, let's say you buy a washing machine here, or a car, or whatever, anything you buy, pay sales tax on, you have to pay the state of New Jersey the 1% difference that you did not pay here in Florida.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, there's no rule that says if you, no, this is true. There's no rule that says if you paid more, will the state of New Jersey give you a refund?
A refund, of course.
So anyway, listen to this funny story. New Jersey requires residents to pay a use tax on items purchased out of the state if they were not charged enough sales tax. I know this is not income tax, but I thought this was a fun story.
Yeah, this is interesting. Wow.
So anyway, this was a tax preparer's story, which is how I found it this morning. The tax preparer said, I explained the use tax to my client, who called the next morning and asked if I get a takeout meal in Pennsylvania, and they only charge 6% sales tax. Do I owe the extra 1% to New Jersey?
Good for him. Good for him.
His tax would have been less than $1. So his tax preparer said no. But still, isn't that something? But the truth is, I mean, maybe she said no only simply because it was, well, I don't know if it was he or she, but maybe the tax preparer said no only because it was such a small amount. But according to this, if you live in New Jersey, if New Jersey is just your home, and you buy something in another state and bring it back, this is the answer. This is, I told him, this is what the tax preparer says, I told him he doesn't owe the extra 1% if he ate the meal in Pennsylvania.
Oh, my God.
But if he brought it back to New Jersey, then he would owe the 1% difference.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine that?
How do they know? I mean, how does the state of New Jersey know if you go out of state and buy washing machines and stuff like that? And I mean, there isn't a form.
I'm assuming that many people do this without doing anything.
Yeah.
But if you buy, let's say, online, let's say you buy from, a store here in Ocala.
Yeah.
And, well, the store doesn't, I don't understand. The internet doesn't show. I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
No, this is a crazy
But anyway,
law. It's so
I just thought I'd
stupid.
share that with you. It was one of the things I discovered when looking for some unusual but legitimate tax deductions. So let me tell you them. But first, let me go to the phone. Good morning. You're on the air. I think.
Yeah, good morning, good morning. At one time, it was popular to go to the furniture factories in North Carolina and buy a bedroom set or whatever, and they took to reporting sales of that nature to the states with sales tax, so that you had to pay a sales tax bringing that furniture in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then also people that made runs up to North Carolina for cheap tobacco products. Likewise, when they got back to Florida, they had to pay the sales tax on the goods.
But in the first story, you just told us the furniture store reported them, but I don't think any cigarette company was probably.
No.
The big outlets near the interstate do that.
Even on cigarettes?
They
oh, really?
Back to Florida and Georgia and whatever. The large sales of tobacco products.
Wow. So, but I'm guessing Happy Meals don't count, right?
I hope not.
I don't know.
I don't use tobacco, but I know people that have done that.
Wow. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that.
All right. Have a good day.
It's amazing. All right, I said Happy Meal. He didn't understand me.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So here's some deductible, unusual but legitimate deductions, I should say.
Okay.
Are pet moving expenses deductible? If you lost your job and you are relocating to start a new job, you might know that these expenses are generally tax deductible. You might not know that the expense of moving your pet is also deductible.
No, that's interesting.
Didn't know that. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. If you live in New Jersey and you decide that the tax that you just cited was stupid along with all the other taxes, and you decide to move to Florida, they'll charge you one last tax. It's a moving out of New Jersey tax. I forget what they call it.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. No, you want to leave, that's fine, but we're going to kick you in the butt on the way out.
How do they know? I mean, you're a free spirit, you know. You don't register with the state.
I'm moving out of New Jersey.
If you live in New Jersey and you work in New Jersey and you're going to, like, say, live there for 6 months, and then you move to Florida and you're going to be filing your income taxes and you're showing another employer in Florida, they know you moved. If you claim any moving expenses, they know you moved.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
Yeah. New Jersey is really good with taxes, apparently.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go.
So happy tax day, you guys.
I thank you. So instead of an income tax, that's an outgoing tax. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, pet moving expenses, that makes sense.
I guess so. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, it's me, Tom.
Hey.
Listen, in all the states I lived in, it's generally been that way. If you buy something in an adjoining state and it's only a 5% sales tax there, and the state you're in is a 6% sales tax, you're supposed to pay the difference in sales tax. It's it's an honor system. It's just like when you buy something on the internet, even though they don't hit you with a sales tax. If you check the Florida state law, it says you're supposed to pay sales tax on it. But once again, it's on an honor system. Nobody is really following. As far as cigarettes are concerned, that there is also a federal law that says you can't transport more than 199 cigarettes across state lines. That's one carton minus one cigarette without paying federal excise tax on it as well. So but that's different than income tax. Income tax and sales tax are different.
But it's all money that the government gets, though,
That's right. It's all tax.
It's all money that the government gets. But basically, on the sales tax issue, that's a pretty standard thing from all across the country. Every state I've ever lived in is, when we moved from Alabama to Illinois, I forget what Alabama's sales tax was on the car I bought there, but they wanted me to pay the difference in sales tax between Alabama and Illinois, but I was exempt from it since I was active duty military. But
if you move,
as it turned out.
But if you move, you move all of your furniture all of your possessions, which were probably all purchased in the state you came from.
Exactly.
You got to declare
Exactly.
that. You got to declare every single.
That would be on the
Stupid.
honor system thing.
Man,
No.
I believe you. I'm not doubting
you're
it.
You're not registering your furniture when you go to the DMV, so they have no idea what furniture you have or not.
Yeah, but based
reason
on this
they catch your
discussion, it
car
sounds
is
like you're
because
supposed
registering
to.
your car.
How come nobody stops talking?
I know,
All right.
I know. You talk.
Thank you,
keep
Tom.
talking.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I think
Bye.
maybe it's the stereo mono problem
Yeah,
that we
could
have
be.
with the Beatles.
Yeah, that's right.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi, I used to live in New Hampshire where there were no sales or income taxes.
Uh-oh.
And I lived right on the border close to Maine. There were people who lived in Maine and they worked in New Hampshire. They had to pay their sales tax and everything. But if I went to Maine, one time I went to Maine and bought a car, there was no sales tax because I was registering it in New Hampshire.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's interesting. Wow. Didn't know that. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. All right, let's see. What else do I have here? As far as unusual but legitimate tax deductions. Can clarinet lessons be a deduction? A parent was able to deduct the expenses for clarinet lessons for her child because she claimed it corrected her child's overbite.
Oh, wow.
This was based
Isn't
on a
that fascinating?
1962 case where an orthodontist argued that playing the clarinet indeed would help correct a child's overbite.
Oh, my gosh. Isn't that something?
So, it's not
There
the
you go.
lessons; it's the dental therapy
Yeah.
that you're getting deduction for.
Exactly. Wow.
Can
Cool.
babysitter expenses be deducted? Again, I'm getting this from a reliable source. It's from efile.com. Can babysitter expenses be deducted? A mother claimed her babysitter expenses as a deduction because she was performing charitable deeds while she was away from her child. This would mean that you pay somebody to look after your child while you work for no pay for a charity. In this case, the tax court rejected and overruled an IRS revenue ruling when, despite not having the money go directly to a charity, a parent used the babysitter expense as a charitable contribution while volunteering for a charity.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is cool.
All right, Dan, listen to this one. Are private airplane expenses deductible? A couple owned and rented out a condo that was a 7-hour drive away from their primary residence. To save time and money, they purchased a private airplane and were able to deduct airplane expenses like fuel and depreciation for business use for the property management trips to their condominium.
Oh, that's cool.
However, it turned out that the expenses increased the overall loss of the rental condo.
Well, yeah, you're doing it for business purposes, whether you're driving in a car or flying in a plane.
Under certain conditions, by the way, the cost of cat food might be considered a legitimate deduction.
Really?
A junkyard owner bought cat food to attract local stray cats in order to drive away mice and rats.
Oh, that's a good idea.
He claimed it as a business expense, and it was approved by the IRS.
Now I can see that being a business expense.
You feeding your cat, you're not going to get a deduction for that.
No.
Sounds like
Not even
Dr.
if you have a
Seuss.
mouse or two in your house. You have to have a business.
We got a Dr. Seuss book going here. If you have a medical condition that would improve with a swimming pool exercise regimen, your swimming pool expenses could qualify as a medical expense and therefore deductible.
And that makes sense because you're exercising, you're using every muscle in your body.
That's what happened in the case of an arthritis patient who was prescribed to swim frequently in order to treat his condition. He installed a swimming pool on his property and deducted the expenses from his taxes.
Good for him.
The IRS approved the deduction. But if the pool had been used for recreational purposes, it would not have been approved.
No.
So
No.
just be careful when you say,
Yeah.
I'm using it for therapy.
Make sure you're using it for therapy and then you charge admission or something to your people.
A man was diagnosed with a gender identity disorder. He was really a woman trapped in a man's body. He wanted to deduct almost $22,000 in out-of-pocket medical expenses for the surgeries to make him the way he should be.
Okay.
Sexual reassignment surgeries, etc. Here is what the tax court decided in his case. The hormone therapy and the sex change operation, which amounted to $14,500, was a qualified medical tax deduction.
Wow.
However, the expense for the breast augmentation was not, because it was cosmetic surgery.
Oh, there you go.
Ay, ay, ay.
So he's got to pay for it herself. Oh my gosh.
Is quitting smoking a deductible medical expense? Yes, you might qualify to deduct expenses for smoking cessation programs like nicotine patches and stop smoking aids, etc., things like that.
Oh yeah, because they're all prescribed to you by a doctor. It's not something you can buy over the counter.
Let's see. Can a business trip qualify as a tax deduction? Any business trip viewed as ordinary and necessary to the course of doing business by the IRS is eligible for a deduction.
Oh, okay, that
go.
makes sense.
In one case, the owner of a dairy farm took a trip to Africa to conduct research on wild animals
Yeah.
and successfully claimed it as a business expense. I raise cows. I got to go check out some lions in Africa.
You never know when I'm going to have them on my property.
Can lawn care expenses be claimed as a deduction? Yes, they might. But your house will have to be your workplace. And the state of your lawn would have to have some relevance to the performance of your business.
Oh, okay.
A sole proprietor successfully deducted lawn care expenses as business expenses because he met his client in his home office and needed an attractive lawn.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Wow.
Yep, it does. That makes sense. You don't want to have somebody come to your door as a client and you've got weeds growing all over the place.
Body oil you rub on your body, cannot be deducted unless, and here's the unless, you can claim that you are a bodybuilder and that oil is necessary for competition, which is how you earn your money. So it becomes a business expense if you shine up your body with oil as a living, if that's what you do for a living. Can you imagine me going in there? I shine myself up I make a few extra dollars on the side. People like to look at my glistening body.
That's right. And then you'll have to have an assistant spray it on and stuff like that. So that'll have to be a tax deduction.
Can you deduct the cost of beer?
Okay. What is that for?
If you are a business trying to attract customers, it might be deductible. The deduction was approved when one business deducted the cost of beer it used to attract customers and promote its business as a business expense. So if WOCA, for example, was inviting people here and we were saying, well, you have some free beer, you can write it off.
There you go, on the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Of course, what should be worse, the expense of the beer or the...
Yeah, right.
Or the say. Whaling boats need repairs. So you can claim your whaling boat repairs as a business expense, of course. That makes sense.
Whaling boats. Don't see many of those around here.
Let's see, and just a couple of others. In Wisconsin, cloth diapers are not subject to sales tax, but disposable diapers are. In Texas, cowboy boots are exempt from the sales tax, but hiking boots are not.
Really?
Yep. In Texas, you can wear a cowboy boot and not pay for sales tax.
Gosh.
In Ohio, a corpse in a mortuary gets makeup applied on it without getting taxed.
Well, I should hope not.
But a living person is taxed for the makeup that gets applied in a beauty salon.
Yeah, well, that's,
In South Carolina, you can get a $50 deduction if you donate a dead deer to the poor.
Okay.
In South Carolina, $50 deduction if you donate a dead deer to the poor.
That's a good one.
In Maryland, oyster farmers get a tax break, but those who farm other types of shellfish don't.
Because oysters have a season, I think.
Those selfish shellfishers.
That's right.
Hawaii gives a $3,000 tax deduction to those who grow state-approved trees.
Oh, okay. That's a good idea.
People who were persecuted by the Ottoman Empire
They're still around.
between 1915 and 1923 were exempt from taxes in California.
That's right. We had that. You had that news story about the Ottoman Empire, about interesting
Here's
facts.
for the horse enthusiast. A business owner purchased a racehorse and claimed it as a business expense. He was not in the horse racing business.
Oh.
He claimed that he needed to entertain his clients and that a racehorse did that.
Oh, gee.
He was able to claim it, by the way, because of the economic stimulus package that allowed such things. In one case, the use of a yacht was deducted as a business expense because the business owner tried to impress his customers and encourage them to do business with him on his yacht.
Oh, there you go. We should get a yacht.
An ostrich farmer in Louisiana's St. Tammany Parish depreciated his ostrich, which is allowed as long as the birds are used for breeding purposes.
Oh, okay.
My ostrich was worth a lot more last year. I lost some money in this year.
Yeah, every year older, the more depreciation occurs.
Gorney, you're on the air.
Good morning, Larry and Robin. I think I know the reason why in Maryland, despite them being the crab capital of the country, why oysters are deductible. Because the Chesapeake Bay always has a pollution problem. They have a lot of chicken farms in the eastern shore of Maryland that kind of dump into the rivers that go into the bay, and they always have pollution problems. And oysters are filters. They filter, the water and get rid of some of the pollutants. So what they do is they pay these farmers, give them a tax break because they either grow them in the bay or they grow them somewhere else, and they transport them to the bay to help try and clean it up.
Okay. That's probably right. It makes sense.
All right, well, you have a good day.
Thank you. Appreciate that insight. Didn't know that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And one more, by the way, one more. If you're in the Netherlands, you can claim a tax break if you study and practice witchcraft.
Okay, there you go. Hang out my shingle and move to the Netherlands. Can you imagine that?
Didn't know that. This
Practicing witchcraft in the Netherlands.
All right, we've got to move forward, and I guess that's what we've got to do. Move forward. Went a little bit long on that. I didn't mean to do that. All right, when we come back, we'll have Galen Unold on the phone with us after the news, and we will talk about, today is the anniversary, 102nd anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. If you want to go on a cruise and you want it to be a themed cruise, I've got 10 to tell you about.
Wow.
10 fun themed cruises that you can go on. We'll take a break, go to Fox News, and we'll be back. Hi, Robin. You look tired.
I am. I've been running all over town.
Why? Why not drive?
I need to get this stupid document notarized.
Well, that's easy. You need personal service.
Duh. That's what I've been looking for.
You need to go see Mark at the Personal Service Center. He can notarize that for you, make copies, fax it wherever, or send it out in the mail. Heck, he can even scan it and email it for you.
Really? Where is he at?
2375 Northeast 25th Avenue, on the corner of Northeast 25th Avenue and 24th Street. You can call him at 789-6683.
Personal Service Center. Thanks, Larry.
Did you know that Marion County has a vast equine business? Tune in every Friday at 9:30 for Horse Sense, when we connect, communicate, and educate you on ways to participate in and enjoy all the equine adventures this area has to offer.
Sponsored in part by Infinite Day Spa, Almara Arabian Horses, and Florida Thoroughbred Breeders Owners Association, FTBOA.
Fridays at 9:30 right here on The Source.
I'm a different breed.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
About 40% of the things we buy are impulse purchases. Stores know this, so their goal is to keep us there as long as possible with a complicated layout. The number of people taking Ambien and ending up in hospital emergency departments increased by nearly 220% in the last 5 years, and the majority of those ER visits were by women. The more calories we eat at breakfast, the more total calories we're likely to eat the rest of the day.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today. Who would you feed if you had 50 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A? WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall have teamed up to reward one organization with 50 chicken sandwiches as a way of saying thanks for the great work that organization is doing in our community. And we need your help. See, there are so many great people doing great things that we need nominations. You can nominate your own organization or any organization you choose. Simply send an email to WOCA@WOCA.com and in 350 words or less, tell us why the organization you are nominating should receive 50 free chicken sandwiches from WOCA and Chick-fil-A at the Paddock Mall. We'll review your nominations and then select one deserving organization each month. We'll announce the winner and even read the winning entry on the air. Make sure to include the contact name and phone number of the organization that you are nominating. And thanks from your friends at WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall.
You're listening to WOCA News Talk 1370.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The bomb attack on Boston remembered 1 year later.
It's an emotional place, but today Boylston Street is full of life again. I can see coffee shops and restaurants are bustling with business, and people are wearing their Boston Strong shirts. Vice President Joe Biden, Governor Deval Patrick, and other dignitaries, along with victims and their families, will attend a tribute later today, followed by a flag-raising ceremony and then a moment of silence.
Fox Radio's Jeff Minato in Boston. In the search for the missing Malaysian plane, crews are trying to send a U.S. robot sub diving back into the Indian Ocean after the first attempt ended early. And Ukraine's acting president announcing a new operation to root out pro-Russian insurgents, many of them continuing to occupy government and law enforcement buildings in nearly 10 cities in eastern Ukraine. Fox News, we report, you decide.
There's more to Fox News Radio than meets the ear. Go behind the headlines and join the conversation on the hottest stories of the day on the Fox News Radio Facebook page. Be a part of the Fox News Radio Facebook fan community. Post comments and tell us your opinions. See behind-the-scenes photos and videos and post your reactions to the stories that matter to you. Click the like button on Facebook and connect with breaking news and features like Fox in the Fast Lane, House Call for Help, and more. Go to Facebook.com/Fox News Radio.
Weeknights, we're busting out a brand new lineup. First, market fraud, government abuse, corruption. At 5, nothing's off limits on money with Melissa Francis. Then, from bloated bank fees to consumer scams. At 6, Jerry's exposing the issues impacting your wallet. Plus, get smart market insight and trusted analysis you won't find anywhere else. At 7, Lou Dobbs is all business. And the first and last name in business